But, Rob, we ended last segment talking about Aaron Rodgers, and you said the writer or voter who will not said he will not vote for Rodgers because he's a quote-unquote bad guy should be exposed. Well, he's not hiding. All right, he was on the radio, 670 The Score in Chicago, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Bo. And his name is Hub Arkoosh. He's a longtime writer in Chicago, Rob. You know him?
Yeah.
Hub Arkoosh. You do know him. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's pronounced Hub Arkoosh.
Arkoosh? Okay, yeah. Hub Arkoosh.
Yeah.
He's the executive editor for Pro Football Weekly. Okay, and here's what he said.
Yeah, Hub Arkoosh. Yeah, that's how you
I don't think you can be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team and your organization and your fan base the way he did and be the most valuable player. Do I think he's going to win it? Probably. I just think that the way he's carried himself is inappropriate. And you know, the vaccine thing just was one more, log on the fire, so to speak. I think he's a bad guy, and I don't think a bad guy can be the most valuable guy at the same time.
Who is he to say who's bad and who's right? I take this because I think guys think they're so important. This is a guy crying out for some attention. Herb Arkoosh. That's what this is.
You know him at all personally?
No, I don't know him personally. Okay. He's 68 years old. He's been in Chicago forever. He might be a Bears homer because Aaron Rodgers plays for the Packers and owns the Bears. I don't even know what it is. But Aaron Rodgers, Chris, hasn't changed at all, other than if you want to say the lying about it. But he's always been the same kind of guy, right? Who's so I don't know. Did Hub not vote for him last year because he thought he was a bad guy? Is he only a bad guy this year? I don't know. And again, I don't think that's the writer's place or the people who have the votes. It's not a personal thing. It's supposed to be about what Aaron Rodgers has done on the football field. And I'd say this about anybody who was up for the award. He could be talking about Joe Burrow and said he don't like Joe Burrow because of something that he did. You know what I mean? Or I don't like this. I just think once you start getting into that, you lose all credibility as a guy who is supposedly a journalist and is taking a look at someone and being objective about it. He sounds like it's personal, and that's a shame.
Yeah, he also said this, Rob. He said he knows for a fact, or he said, I can guarantee you I will not be the only one not voting for him. So obviously he's talked to some other voters, and they feel the same way. I don't think, and even he said, Rob, he thinks he'll win it. So I don't think this will be enough to keep Rodgers from likely winning it.
He didn't
be
get
interesting if he
didn't get every
win
vote last year, Chris, and he had an unbelievable year.
He was better last year. Yeah,
right.
As good as he's been this year, he had a better year last year.
And he didn't get every vote last year. He's not going to get every vote.
Arkoosh is implying that it's because of what people, or at least this other guy, this other voter who's not going to vote for him, think about his character. But here's what I'll say, Rob. I agree with you, and I'm a voter for the NBA MVP award. And you do, it's about what they do on the field. Now, locker room presence, leadership ability, sure, that can affect, a team. And, I think you're free to take that stuff into consideration. What I would say, though, Rob, is this. Where's the evidence that Aaron Rodgers' character, or if you want to say lack thereof, if you're in that camp, or any of the things he's done off the field have hurt his team or lessen the respect that his teammates have for him? That's the thing. They're playing great football. They're playing the best football in the league. I mean, everything I haven't seen any evidence that the teammates don't like him. Have you?
Not at all.
And I get it. He's arrogant, and he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. And fine.
Right.
But to say, and here's the thing, worst guy in the league. I mean, we got guys in the league that have beaten down women.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
How about Big Ben? Is he a great guy? I mean, I'm just saying his history. Big Ben's had his issues.
Who used to?
How about AB?
Who used to imprison women in bathrooms at bars? Big Ben?
Yeah, what I'm saying, right? I mean, I don't agree with committing adultery. If there's a player out there, I mean, there's a lot of players out there cheating on their wives. Should I take that into consideration?
Right, because you heard a rumor, Chris.
You just can't do that.
No, I mean, these are people who expose themselves, who are supposed to be journalists, and they're not. And you have to. And as I said before, Chris, I've seen people not be good to the media and still get their due, right? Still get voted for, still win awards, because that's what we're there for. We're judging what they've done on the field. If they're disqualified because they've done some crime or something against society, guess what, Chris? Then we don't have a right. We don't have a chance to vote for him. We never had a chance to vote for Pete Rose, right? He was banned by the game.
Right.
They didn't give us a chance. We didn't have to pass judgment. Baseball said no. He has done something that has banished him from the game. He will not be on the Hall of Fame ballot because he's banished. Writers didn't have a chance to vote for Pete Rose.
See, and that's where, remember when we talked about AB and the vaccination situation, I feel like, Rob, in these situations, it's the league's responsibility. And if the league says the guy can play, and he hasn't committed a crime where he's got to go to jail or prison or whatever, and if the league says he can play, then I'm not killing the team for allowing him to play.
See, I mean, that's what I disagree with you. Because I think different teams have different standards depending on who their ownership is. I think there are some teams when Jerry Jones, who was the guy,
so how's that different from a guy having a standard for the MVP?
No,
you're
but
saying the guy shouldn't be able to play in the league because of a character flaw that doesn't send him to jail.
But he's judging whether or not he was. But that's not a character flaw. Doesn't have anything to do with. So the guy who goes to church every day and takes kids to school and does all the great things in the community, he should be the MVP of the league, even though he's thrown eight touchdowns. Come on, that's not what the award is. It's about who's performed the best in the league. That's totally different. And what I'm saying to you is, you could be eligible to play, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to take you if you were involved in some activity that I don't feel comfortable in my organization. And I'll tell you, Trevor Bauer didn't go to jail, right? Didn't go to jail, Chris, for what he did. But I don't believe he'll ever pitch for the Dodgers again. He'll be reinstated at some point with baseball, but I doubt he'll pitch in that organization. It doesn't mean he can't play for some other team. So if he pitches in another
organization, do you think that organization is worse than the Dodger organization?
No, I just think they have different standards on what they believe in.
But are they worse?
Teams. No, they're different. Everybody has their own standards.
Well,
but I'm
this
talking
dude has his standards.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's based on.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I disagree. I think he's a fraud as a journalist because that's not what in trying to determine. And when he said he's a bad guy, I don't know. Is he a bad guy this year, last year? I would love to see if he voted for him last year. Is he just a bad guy this year because he told his teammates he wasn't vaccinated but not the press? Is that why he's a bad guy? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm with you in that. Look, there are obviously things. There's levels, right? There are really egregious things that guys do, and then there are things we might not agree with, we might not like, that just aren't as bad. And they may be wrong. Like Rodgers was wrong, but that's not the same thing as, beating on a woman.
Vehicular homicide when you're drunk.
I mean, so I don't know. When you start bringing in the personal views for your MVP voting, it gets real subjective. And it's subjective overall, right? They don't give, right? When I vote for MVP, and even when they vote in the NFL, they don't have a criteria, right? They don't go, consider it statistics individually, consider the team wins, consider his teammates' abilities. Like I have my own criteria for MVP that I have come up with that involve some of those things I just mentioned. But the leagues don't tell you, But I just think when you start bringing in subjective things, then it really gets dicey. It really gets, because everybody has their own personal standards. I don't agree with a lot of things Aaron Rodgers has done, and I do think he's arrogant. But come on, because you don't like the guy's personality, I don't know that that's a reason not to vote for him. I don't think that's a reason not to vote for him.
Yeah, you always have these guys, Chris. We've seen people. We talked about it before. Somebody didn't vote for Derek Jeter in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that we know that. That's
right. But I'm just saying that
Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds.
Exactly.
Barry Bonds we understand, but you know what I mean.
Hank Aaron. Right. Willie Mays. Seriously.
Mickey Mantle.
Right.
I don't know
all these guys, they didn't vote for them. How in the world did you have a vote in front of you and you didn't vote for Willie Mays? Or Babe Ruth didn't get every vote.
Sandy Koufax.
Right. It's mind-boggling.
I hear you. All right.